Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Over the last year, the Trump administration has systematically dismantled Justice Department offices responsible for rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse in federal programs. It has done the same with components that police fraud against consumers and investors. Last April, Attorney General Bondi disbanded the team responsible for prosecuting cryptocurrency crime. Last September, she dissolved the Consumer Protection Branch in the Department of Justice, which enforced federal laws prohibiting fraud against consumers. The administration also did away with the Justice Department's tax division, established a century ago by Robert Jackson and led efforts to prosecute tax fraud. And the Attorney General has gutted the Public Integrity Section responsible for enforcing laws against public corruption. None of this should come as any surprise. The worst examples of waste, fraud, and abuse in recent years are coming from inside the Trump administration. Want to root out fraud? Start at the top. The administration itself. Fraudsters who have made huge contributions to the president have regularly been rewarded with pardons, and God only knows what else. In April 2024, the founder of Binance was sentenced to prison and ordered to pay $50 million fine for his role in money laundering. He then brokered a deal to channel $2 billion into the Trump family crypto business, and President Trump pardoned him. What a coincidence. Just this week, we learned that Binance accounts have funneled $1.7 billion to Iranian entities with links to terrorist groups. But the Trump family's crypto company, World Liberty Financial, continues to partner with Binance. So we have these negotiations going on with Iran that risk the possibility of war, and the president's business is doing business with a company that's backing the Iranian terrorist groups. Something's wrong here. Paul Wiederhorn, a convicted fraudster, was indicted in 2024 for stealing $47 million from his own business. Later that year, he was behind a $100,000 donation to President Trump's inaugural committee. A few months later, Trump's Justice Department dropped the case. Anyone serious about fighting fraud should focus as well on the White House, who has more than doubled his net worth since returning to office. Not a bad year for the president. Blind trusts have been replaced by eyes wide open money grabs. Trump appointees have contributed to the waste, fraud, and abuse by misusing government resources and taxpayer dollars for their own benefits. Last week, news broke that Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem planned to spend $70 million on a luxury private jet, including a queen-size bed and a bar, to accommodate her official travel. FBI Director Kash Patel has shamelessly exploited the FBI's private government jet to support his jet-setting lifestyle, including a golf getaway in Scotland and a trip to watch his girlfriend perform a wrestling match. Most recently, he flew to Italy to chug beers with the U.S. Olympic hockey team. As a whistleblower told the committee, the tone was set early in Director Patel's tenure when he told FBI agents, quote, "If you have golf, hockey, fishing, or hunting and beautiful sights, you're going to see an awful lot of me." There are many unanswered questions about this so-called National Fraud Enforcement Division. Some are very basic. In January, Vice President Vance claimed that he would be the operation would be run out of the White House under his and President Trump's supervision. Then the Justice Department contradicted the Vice President, and claimed that the new division's Assistant Attorney General would report to Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, not the Vice President. Then we saw last night at the State of the Union address a handshake and handoff to the Vice President again. The confusion doesn't stop there. Justice Department officials cannot agree whether the division will absorb staff and resources from the existing civil and criminal division fraud offices or whether it will hire new staff. Last week, I spoke to Attorney General Bondi asking for clarification on these issues. She has not responded. So we start with the perennial question, who's on first? We should not move ahead with this nominee with such questions unanswered. I hope Mr. McDonald is prepared to answer the questions today, and I hope he's prepared to discuss waste, fraud, and abuse. Mr. President, or Mr. Chairman, I would like to enter into the record a letter which I sent to the General Accounting Office and Department of Justice yesterday about Mr. Patel's egregious use of private jets for personal travel and joyriding. And I might also add that there's serious questions being raised as to whether the resources of the FBI were available at a critical moment when we had the terrible incident at Brown University. These questions need to be answered on the record, and I think they should be led by our efforts on this committee. I yield.